Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Checking In virtual book tour. This is a labor of love, something that I've been so excited to do. Before this guest, here is an excerpt about identity and labels. I'll never forget the Dooney and Burke bag my aunt gave me back in the day. Honey, I was taking that purse with me to the bathroom. I loved it so much. A few years later, I bought my very first pair of Dolce & Gabbana jeans. I still remember what year it was, 2001, and I wore those jeans out. I mean, I felt fancy. You would have thought some of those jeans were out saving lives, fighting fires or rescuing cats from trees and keeping children safe. The problem is we are finding our identity in the wrong places. We're defining ourselves by the wrong labels. The labels given to us by other people or even labels given to us by ourselves. In fact, I bet if we took a stack of those "Hello, my name is" stickers and write down all the false labels we are believing about ourselves and stuck them on, our entire bodies would be covered up. Here's another question. Why don't we get more upset when we get mislabeled? Why do we just bow down and accept the incorrect labels given to us by others? It's like identity theft. And let me tell you, we will get fired up by someone trying to steal our financial identity. I'm so excited about this topic about identity because that question is so true. We get fired up about financial identity or somebody stole your phone or your purse. But why don't we get as fired up as people who try to label us as something that we are not? I'm so excited about my next guest, Chloe Bailey. She is one half of the Grammy-nominated duo Chloe and Halle. Just absolutely phenomenal. Their videos on YouTube began to go viral, and then my singing sister Beyonce noticed them and signed them to their label. They have just been doing so well. I just see their growth just year by year by year. And Chloe has had her own share of identity, finding herself and owning it. And as a young Black confident woman, she is here today to share her story about identity and how she's owning it. Please welcome to the Checking In virtual tour, Chloe Bailey.
Hi, how are you doing? I'm so happy to be here virtually, doing it over Zoom. I like it. I like it.
Listen, honey, I had my shoulders out for you, darling.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. You too. The sun is shining where you are in sunny California, and I'm so glad that you're here. I want to know, who is Chloe Bailey? How would you describe yourself?
Chloe Bailey is a young Black woman who loves music, God, and her family, and just hopes to make a difference in the world somehow by being herself and putting good music out. And a woman who's trying to find happiness, and once she finds it, hold on to it, and anything around that will fall into place. So I feel like that's who I am.
Those are actually the three pillars of my book. It's checking in with yourself, checking in with others, which is your family, and checking in with God. So I think that's pretty dope. How do you stay grounded in your identity with so many opinions on social media?
Wow, well, it's not an easy thing. I'm an overthinker. I'm constantly in my head. I'm constantly saying, oh, did I do this right? Did I make a mistake here? What did I do wrong? And I'm learning that it doesn't always have something to do with you, why something didn't work out. Whether it's an opportunity in life, whether it's a relationship with someone, it just wasn't meant for you. And how I kind of stay grounded is a lot of prayer. God is number one for me, because without God, I wouldn't really have anything to hold on to. There's a lot of days I feel very insecure sometimes, but I think everything that God has made is wonderful and beautiful, and everything that God creates is special. So why am I looking in the mirror and thinking I'm not special? It's negating everything I think about that. So it's like, if I think everything that God created is special, then I have to look at myself that way. So it's like I'm constantly telling myself that, and it's like a slight reminder that kind of shifts my perspective, you know?
Well, you just gave the answer to another young lady of how to not feel insecure, which is to not believe the whispers and the lies that are in your ear, but more so believe everything that God says about you, right? Anything contrary to that, we know that's not God speaking, right?
Yeah.
And as I listen to you talk, I'm just loving how you are really self-aware. And I think some other young women can identify, well, first of all, they might even have been surprised to hear you say that you're insecure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, as of 2020 and 2021, we've seen you on some of the best platforms and stages performing. I think you're very confident. You're coming into your womanhood. You're sexy. And then to hear the I word, insecure?
Yeah.
So people would be very surprised and they'd be like, wait a minute, Beyonce is practically your teacher. What do you mean you're insecure? And I just hate to believe those lies about ourselves. Somebody told me that I was gaining weight today. And I said, yes, because I'm on Operation Thicker Than a Snicker.
What did they tell you?
They told me I'm gaining weight, which I want. I want to gain weight. And so what I'm telling you.
It's anybody's business.
No. It was a compliment. Because I've been saying that on Zoom calls that I'm on Operation Thicker Than a Snicker. So when I look at your Instagram, I'd be like, yeah, I got a long way to go. I got to do some more squats.
Can I say something? I think you have a beautiful body. I remember when, before pandemic at Coachella, when the three of you were on stage, I thought you looked phenomenal. You look beautiful right now. So I know we all want to because me, where my weight goes first is my arms. So I understand. I want to tone up in my arms.
Yeah.
So I understand, but I think you look beautiful just the way you are.
Thank you so much.
It's funny how the grass is always greener on the other side. And I think you know what I think it is? Social media. And
let's talk about
every time you're online, you see everyone's best version of themselves. Even me, when I post, I'm posting the best version of myself. And if you look at what I look like as I'm posting, I'm in sweats, I have my bonnet on or a bandana on, I don't have any makeup. So it's really cool and special how we have these different layers of ourselves, and we could be done up, and we could be the boss, sassy, confident woman, and we could also just be completely ourselves, natural, really not giving a care in the world. And I love how we have layers, and I'm learning to appreciate both sides of myself. You know what I mean?
How have you been able to navigate going publicly from who we seen as these two beautiful young girls at home? You are publicly showing us, no, you're a woman now.
I'm going to be completely honest. Like when my sister and I created our individual Instagram accounts, because we wanted to still do Instagram lives together, because she's in London killing it on this movie and I'm so proud of her. I can't wait to see it myself. I'm fangirling. So it's like, when we decided to do that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna post a bunch of photos that's been on my private Instagram, on my Finsta, that my family and friends have had access to. So I was a bit caught off guard by the reaction, because I'm like, oh, this has been me the complete whole time, and most of the content on my page is like 1 to 2 years old, and it's like people are just now seeing it. So it's really fun that people can kind of get to know who my sister and I are separately. And it's also really fun because the times where I feel confident is like when I'm all dressed up and when I'm performing. That's when I feel my sexiest. And I think it's okay to teach women that they can be comfortable owning their sexuality. The world teaches them that it's weird and it's not, and that it's frowned upon, which I think is crazy, because men can do whatever they want and it's looked at like it's normal. So I think just me being myself and seeing how it's inspiring other women to be confident in their bodies and give themselves the validation instead of seeking it from outside people and outside resources. Then I think about how I looked up to women who inspired me just by being themselves. Beyonce, Khalees, such Donna Summers, like such fierce women who own their grace and their class and their sex appeal, and they could be all of that and more.
Thank you for sharing, because I definitely was going to ask, who were some of those women that you looked up to? Yeah, that is so good. How are you handling what people think and say versus who you believe you are and who you are becoming? I feel like the public has their idea of how you're supposed to come out as a woman.
Yes.
You know, in a long flowing gown and tendrils. And how do you handle how people think you should be as a woman?
I was shocked, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I wasn't bothered or affected, but it was more so of not being upset and trying to change myself to please people, but more of just being frustrated because it's like, this is who I am. But at the end of the day, what I've realized and learned is that you cannot please everybody. And the main person you need to please is yourself. So if I'm fine with what I'm doing, if I'm proud of who I am and the skin I'm in, then I really don't care what anybody else has to say. I think that everybody has to live life, because where we mess up is where we try to fix and change ourselves to make other people happy. And then when we're left alone in the room, we're sitting here, where did I go wrong? I'm not happy. So it's like, I'm trying to avoid that. There's a few comments that I see. I'm gonna be completely honest. There's one like, oh,
you're
she's
safe
for attention, male attention, or like she's so full of herself. I used to let it bother me, but let me tell you something. I know both of those are lies. So why would I waste my time trying to prove myself that that is a lie?
And it says something about them.
Like,
maybe that's something that they struggle with.
Exactly.
And they want to project that on you.
Exactly. And you know what I noticed? The people who are happiest really don't have anything negative to say about anyone. So like you said, it's people projecting. And it's like, well, you know what? I'm sending you love. I'm sending you good energy from here. I hope you get to a place where you feel confident with yourself, and then move on. So I try to not let it bother me anymore. I hold my head up high. I keep it pushing. I keep being myself, because as long as God is proud of me, and as long as I'm being a good person and stay humble and work hard, then I'm like, there's nothing else to really do or say.
Absolutely, which you are.
Amen.
How does Chloe check in with herself and staying grounded as it relates to your mental health?
How I check in on myself? Prayer. I know I keep saying it, but I really do.
It's okay.
I talk to my family, my godmom all the time, and Branson and Halle over FaceTime. And you know what else I do? If I'm like not feeling like myself, I'll work out and then I'll eat a really good meal, or I'll make a song, or I'll just, because I'm a big crier, I'll take the night and I'll just cry in my room and I'll go to sleep. Okay. And I wake up and I'm fine, because what I'm learning is it's okay to feel comfortable with not feeling okay. So I'm learning that it's okay to just take a day, take a beat, feel what you need to feel, and then boss up. Because if something bothers me, because I'm very sensitive, I would sit there and I would harbor on it, and then my whole day's messed up. But what the person said to you, they're probably moved on with their day, laughing, enjoying their day. And here you are wasting your precious God-given life on feeling sad and down about something you can't control. So it's like, now I just take a deep breath, I'll cry a little bit, and then I move on. That's how I try to live. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
Listen, we are both non-confrontational, but a part of my growth has been, I know the past few days, I literally told somebody, I was like, I can't be fake and phony about my feelings. And I had to tell them something that I had been feeling, because I was starting to feel resentful. So for all of us who are non-confrontational, it's like, we got to pray for courage to speak up too, for things that matter, especially if it's a relationship that matters.
Sometimes you owe yourself the peace more than you do to someone else.
Okay.
If I'm fine just leaving it alone and I feel free, then I'm just gonna do that. But now if it gets to the point where it continues to bother me, yes, I should speak up. So I need to get like you when it comes to that.
Chloe, I'm so excited that you have joined me once again. And I won't hold you too long, because I can talk to you all day.
I can't do it. So fun.
I know, right? What is a gem that you will share with someone right now who is struggling with their identity?
I would say, don't beat yourself up. We're not supposed to know exactly what we're meant to be doing in this life. That's why it's called life, because it got up and downs and all of that. And don't compare yourself. I compare myself a lot, whether it's an image I see online, whether it's someone I know and it's like, oh, I wish I could be that way. But when you're doing that, everything special about you, you're negating. And not one of us were created the same. So when you stop comparing, the pressure of trying to find your identity will automatically fizzle away, because where the pressure is coming is because you think everyone else around you has it together, and they really don't. Mm-hmm. None of us have it together. Mm-hmm. So stop comparing, take your time, and just do things that make you happy. If you're in something, if you're at a job, if you know someone, anything that does not make you happy or serve you, remove it. Because nothing good can come from that, you know? So I don't know. That's what I would say.
I love that. I love that. And I love this entire conversation and everything that you bring and all the advice and the wisdom that you even dropped on me today.
I have two questions I really want to ask you.
Ask away, darling.
You entered a world of Destiny's Child, and you met two people who were already established and known to the world. So how did you maintain your identity while having to learn how to fit into something that was so well known already?
Well, for me, it was literally learning as I go. You know, I didn't have the opportunity to develop with them. So I'm literally day by day just learning, if it's on the plane or literal trains we would be on, or just in interviews, having to learn how they move, having to learn how they sing in rehearsals. Like, okay, this is how you move, this is how you blend. Have you ever seen somebody jump on a moving train? I've only really seen it in movies, but if you know what it looks like on trains, that's literally how I felt. And I was like, okay, where's the food cart? Okay, where's the sleeping cart? Okay, and it was just trains moving. We got to go.
Well, you made it look effortless. Like,
thank you.
It's iconic. And another one that I would really love to know, how do you develop a coping mechanism to not let harsh words break your spirit? Because the world can be a very mean place and people could say some very mean things. So how do you deal with that?
I will say, for a long time, you know, in the early 2000s, we didn't have like social media where I could actually read somebody's comments. So I was kind of sheltered from, you know, things, unless I happened to read a crappy review, a music review or a theater review. But, you know, you don't want to read those too often. But now it's like, I used to be the clap back queen. The only reason why you clap back at something, because maybe the sum of it resonate as true with you. Is it a lie that you are believing? But now I have enough strength to say, those are lies that they're saying. I just choose not to believe anything contrary to what God says and the people around me who love me says, because they don't say those things about me. Sometimes you have this thing where you want to be liked, you want to be accepted. I don't know if y'all played kickball in school. Did you ever play kickball in school?
Yeah.
Did they ever make you stand and wait to get picked?
Yes, and that was always the worst feeling, because you never wanted to be picked last.
I found myself in my adulthood raising my hand saying, pick me, like me, accept me, see me, see me. So it's just that little girl who was insecure on the recess field, embarrassed because I was picked last. You know, you have to also realize, I also realized that too, people aren't quick to pick something that maybe they don't know about, they're not sure about. There are differences, we are set apart. There are something different about us, especially those of us who believe in God. We pray, there's just, our light shines a little bit different, and some people aren't sure how to take us. And that's okay, we're here. God is blessing us to make it this far. God is blessing us to make impact. He's blessing us to inspire, and he's blessing us to empower. And that should be our only focus. That's literally, I have that written on my board. Impact, inspire, and empower.
Oh, that's so special. Thank you for sharing. I love that.
Yes, my sister. Thank you for those questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you for answering them.
Of course, anything, anytime. I love you.
I love you
I'm
too.
happy for you. And
I'm so proud of you always. You have always inspired me. I just want you to know how special you are. And I just thank you, because of what you have done in your life has inspired me to do what I'm currently doing in mine. So I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Chloe. Aww.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
No, we're not going to cry, because I'm not sure if this eye makeup is waterproof.
Oh, yeah. No, real quick, I popped on like a little lash. and put on a lip and ran in front of the ring light. So I'm like, it's probably I could rip it off because I did a thin strip.
Okay, I feel you, sis. I feel you. Ain't that a good feeling when you take off the lashes? It's like when you take off your bra. You're like, ooh,
nice. It's like there.
All right, sis. Well, thank you so much for checking in on this virtual book tour. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Love you. Love you.
Right. I love you. I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Keep killing it.
Thank you.
Okay. Wasn't that a powerful conversation? What stuck out to me with Chloe is that she felt insecure. I don't know if that's something that we will ever really get past. To me, some of my insecurities keep me humble, but I don't let my insecurities keep me down or define me. Listen, there are certain things that I wish could be better. Now, those things that I wish could be better, guess what? It takes work. So those things about ourselves that we want to be better, you might just have to work a little harder, and that's okay. So that stuck out to me that she has some insecurities. I feel like she has one of the most incredible voices. I mean, she's beautiful. Her skin, her texture, her heart, are just so many things that I just look at her and just say, wow. And then to know, I know you guys were probably shocked. Wait a minute, you signed to Parkwood. Could you imagine if Whitney Houston signed me to her label? I wouldn't care what none of y'all think, right? But to know that she is signed to Parkwood Entertainment, helmed by Beyonce, and to know that she talked about her insecurity. So that just lets you know, I don't care who you're attached to, how much money you have, I don't care how many followers you have, but just know that that person probably deals with insecurity. And the premise of this tour is to also let you know, you are not alone. You're not alone in what you struggle with. You're not alone in what you fight with. We just want you to thrive. So that was an amazing conversation. Hope you guys felt the same way.